Bella Med Spa offers a Silhouette Insta-Lift treatment, a unique dual-action treatment that produces two desirable facial outcomes. And a segment sponsored by Bella Med Spa, I am joined by the board-certified physician, Dr. Craig Shacker, to learn more. How are you today?
I'm great, Kayla. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so great having you here. So tell me, Silhouette Insta-Lift, what is that?
Silhouette, well, Insta-Lift or thread lifts, we have different types of threads to lift the face. Silhouette Insta-Lift is one of those types of threads. It's a really unique thread. I'm going to lift it up here.
Oh, it's tiny.
It is tiny. The thread itself is tiny, and it has little tiny cones on it.
Okay.
And the thread is made out of something called PLLA, stands for polyl-lactic acid, which is an amazing substance. The substance has been around for decades, back into the 1980s, and it has the ability to cause fibroblasts in the skin to release tons and tons of collagen and produce tons of collagen. So what's interesting about this thread is the little cones on the thread are used to lift or suspend the skin to sort of lift sagging areas and tighten things, and the actual substance that it's made of causes the skin to really volumize with collagen and get a real glow about it. So that's sort of the dual action.
And why is collagen so important with our skin? What exactly is it?
Well, collagen is the meshwork that really makes the skin taut and gives it some structure underneath. So, and it's something that we lose a lot of as we age. And when we lose it, you start to see that the skin gets thinner and crepier. So the action of this thread is really useful in that way.
So with the thread, what is that process like if someone were to get this treatment?
Well, with this thread, the process is that we lay you down, we drape you, we cleanse you, we use a little local anesthetic. And this thread in particular, you probably saw, has two thin but long needles on it.
Yeah.
And those needles allow us to place the thread under the skin in a way that we can then run the skin up the thread over those cones. The cones create sort of a suspension or an anchor system that allows us to lift that skin, and then we sort of cut the ends of the thread so everything is buried under the skin and the skin stays lifted. And then over the next 3 months, the skin builds loads and loads of that collagen we were talking about.
And this may sound like a weird question, does the thread stay under your skin?
It does.
It does?
Yeah, it does.
Is that a painful process, or do you ever feel it when it's there?
It's interesting. I would say for the first few weeks to a month, you can sometimes feel a little, with certain animation, you can feel a little twinge of the thread. But in general, that feeling dissipates very quickly. And I would say most people after a week or two really don't notice that the thread's there at all.
Okay, interesting. And we are seeing before and after photos right now. So you can see the difference.
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting because we actually have two threads that I was going to talk about a little bit. The second thread is this, which is a actual mint thread. It's made out of a different substance than the Silhouette. The Silhouette's made out of polyl-lactic acid, builds tons and tons of collagen. This thread is made out of polydiaxanone. That is a polymer of a sugar. It has some disadvantages compared to that thread and some advantages.
Sure.
This thread is actually a little stronger. It's a little bit thicker. You can see. It's colored, but it actually becomes clear over about a week in the skin. And basically this thread, I don't know, you can feel it if you want, but it's got little barbs on it.
Oh, yeah.
Little triangular barbs, but they're everywhere. So I find with this thread, I can lift a lot. I can actually lift more tissue with this thread than with that thread, but I don't get the skin effect with it the same way. So we were here sort of talking about a couple of different threads. These threads go in with a cannula rather than a needle. So you actually make a little hole in the skin, just to use a tiny needle to do that. The cannula goes in, it goes up into, often depending on the direction you're going, under the skin. It drops the thread in there and comes out. And then again, you move the skin over the thread and lift the saggy or loose tissue.
Wow.
So you can sort of reshape the face with both of these threads. The picture on there right now is showing one of our thread lifts with the Silhouette Insta-Lift. And you can see that she's got sort of a more heart shape to her face on the right side. And I don't know if you get a great look at it here, but you can actually maybe see there's a little more glow to the skin.
Sure.
And that's that sort of dual effect of the silhouettes. The other picture, I don't know if they can get it on there or not, but other one is with the mint threads. And
okay.
And it actually, let's see.
We may not have that one.
Okay. You'll see that there's actually more lift with that,
right,
but not the skin effect. So yeah, I was here sort of comparing the two. One goes in with needles, so there's a little more downtime. Oh, there on that one there, you can see on the right-hand side, the person with the blonder hair. There's a clear lift to her face where she's really changed the shape significantly. And that's where I was trying to show that there's just more lift with the mint threads than the silhouettes, but not the same skin effect. You can see the skin pretty well looks the same on that second picture.
And of course, people want to come in and see which one would be best for them. You do free consultations.
Absolutely. So we absolutely.
Well, I thank you for joining me today. Also very interesting. It always is when you come on. So thank you for joining me. It's great to see you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Sure. Visit mybellamedspa.com for more information and to book your free consultation. This segment was sponsored by Bella Med Spa.